Welcome to Mr. Block's science page. If you scroll down the bottom here, you have some useful links over here on the side, classroom resources on the side, or in the main area, student district website, class schedules, so if a student is going to be absent for a certain time during the day, they can check and see what class they'll be missing. Online textbook is if a student needs their textbook at home and doesn't have it with them, they can get a digital copy as long as they have internet access. You can see that the organized links down here are PDF files. You can either view them or download them. Download is probably better and put it on a USB or a flash drive, that way you have it. For your own reference, if there's activities in certain reading ranges between certain pages, you can see which unit you are working in. So pages 1 to 145 is unit 1. Unit 2 is chapters 4 and 6, and then the pages are listed here. So you need to check on the proper download. You can download it, and then you have a PDF version of the document. So that is for the online textbook. Also, there is some science in action. There isn't an active, there's a link there, but there isn't anything of terrible importance there yet. It's kind of a dead page right now. Online science resources. This is to help students when they do their current event paper. So current event paper and online resources have similar links. This shows what students have to do for current event papers, and this online resources is websites that they can go to find information for their current event. So there's just a list of links of websites they can visit, websites, websites, newspapers they can visit to find their current event. All right. This is beneficial to students and to parents, so they understand our grading process when we give back tests. I give back tests and I grade per learning target on tests. So when you see Infinite Campus, it'll be target 1, target 2, target 3, target 4, target 5 in the test. And this is the wordage or the description for that learning target. So if you want to know how a student did or what target they're struggling in, what area they're struggling in, they can go to the Learning Targets page here and investigate what targets they're missing in which chapter and what target it was. So that kind of gives you a little insight as to what students are learning at any particular moment in time, and what it is that they need to focus their attention on if they didn't do well on a certain learning target. Extra copies is kind of the secret stash where I have everything that's digital copies. So if I give out any paper materials to students, I also post a digital copy here. It's a PDF. So if we go in here to extra copies, I have it organized in 4 different categories. First category is notes, and as you'll see in the different colored font there, guided notes is one main thing you'll find in there, and also lecture PowerPoint. So guided notes and PowerPoints are here. Handouts are things such as reading guides or anything else. This is kind of a miscellaneous reading guides or anything else that students don't fall into any other categories. So notes, if it's not notes or lab activity or test quizzes, then it falls into handout. Labs activities are, well, as you see, the title says it all. Those are labs and activities, and tests are review guides for the test. So taking a look at notes, here's the way that I organize this. I organize it in different folders, and the folders are per chapter or PowerPoints themselves. So chapter 4 guided notes here, these are the 4 subjects or topics we talked about in chapter 4. The actual PowerPoints that go with the guided notes are down here. So these are the PowerPoints, and this is the guided notes, the sheets that students fill out in class. Okay, so that's guided notes. Back to the Resource Center. Handouts are organized as well as in chapters. So here are our reading guides that we've had, and then this one is always there as it is titled. It's the course staples. It's our biology syllabus, mental manipulators, and effort understanding. These 2 handouts students use every day. So if they lose them, misplace them, that's what where they can get them or get a new one is here in the handouts area. Labs activities organized also by chapters or by the title of the activity if it's a large activity. So critter activity is fairly large, and it'll have different files stashed underneath it. Hospital triage is one that had many handouts with it, so it has its own file itself. Okay, and then last but not least is tests. and we have a final exam review guide here, and it's viewable or downloadable as well. Okay, so those are the four things there. Head back to the main page. That was Digital Copy Resource Center extra copies. This other site or page is devoted specifically to the current event papers. These happen after most chapters, and what it is it's for students to find and realize that science is happening every day, all the time, and it's always around them. So what we study in class is not alone just happening in class, but it's happening all around us. So I encourage students to try to find articles in popular media that are within the last 6 months is ideal about topics we've just completed. So this describes chapter 1. That's what the students had to find current event articles that discuss that. This is chapter 2. And then down here it goes into a description of what they have to do for each current event. And it's the same for each one. So once they get into the habit of doing it, then they know how it works out. And down here is how it's scored. It's out of 30 points. You give you your little point breakdown. And then here, once again, are the websites that you can link to find a current event article. All right, so that's current event paper. Now, the one that should be visited on a regular basis is the daily log. This is for a student who's absent or misses something or needs to get back to something. This is kind of organizes and recaps our day. So you can select the hour that your child or you, the student yourself, participates in. So let's just go first hour, for example. And then here, you'll see that's broken down by quarters. So third quarter, fourth quarter, and by weeks. So week 1, if you go into week 1 here, and as we click into it, you get a little bit of a spreadsheet, if you will, that goes through our week in progressions. So for this week here, we have lesson 1, which was Monday. Every day we have a goal that I hope students will learn throughout that day, or a task to take care of. And then we also have the mental manipulator. So if students miss mental manipulator, that's a 3-minute activity we do at the beginning of every class. Gets them kind of going and thinking about science. If they missed the question because they were absent or they were late to getting to class and they missed it, then it's always on the website for them to copy down and answer at their own time. I then have the homework provided here with a digital copy click. So you would click here. I'll do that in just a moment, and it takes you to the digital copy center where we were earlier. And then I give you the breakdown of what we've done in each class. So this is what we did on that Monday. Here's what we did on a Tuesday. Also, you'll see that in blue here, this is when students have a formative assessment check. So if a student doesn't have a reading guide, in this case, completed for the formative assessment check, then they will, the best they can get on that formative assessment is a 1. And a friendly reminder about formative assessments, if all the formative assessments are handed in before we take an exam, chapter test, then a student will get 5% bonus on that test. If they neglect to do the formative assessments prior to that, then they forfeit that bonus points of 5%. So that bonus, that kicker, if you will. So as you scroll down through here, you have goal, you have mental manipulator, the tasks, goal, mental manipulator, formative assessment check. The assignments are over here. Most, actually all should have a little click here for digital copy if needed. So let's just click on one of these. We'll click here for careful coordination. It takes you into the handouts link, and then here it's organized by chapters. And then you should just look for it as the title. So the titles match with what is mentioned up here. So careful coordination reading guide, click here, and you'll find careful coordination reading guide. So then you'll have to view download, and you'll be fine there. Okay. So that kind of sums up what happens at the website. I hope you enjoy the navigation and hopefully the simplistics of it once you're familiar with it. If you have any other questions or you need to contact me, right here at top is my email and my contact, and I'd be more than happy to help you with any issues that you may have. Hope you enjoyed it.